Question number 27. The information is given to you. Exchange rate per DM, Canadian dollar per DM spot is given to you. That means 1 DM is equal to Canadian dollar 0.665. Again, forward rate is given to you. 3-month forward rate is per DM Canadian dollar is equal to 0.67. So how do I write the codes? Let me write this. Canadian dollar per DM. So DM is a standard currency, is equal to 0.665 and 0.670. So this is the spot, this is the 3-month forward. Okay, the rates are clearly given to us. Also, the interest rates of DM is 7% and Canadian dollar is 9%. We can see from these two factors the premium, which currency is at premium. The DM is at premium, right? Because from 0.665 to 6.67. And also from the interest rates, since the interest rate of DM is less, we can say that that currency is at premium. The country whose interest rate is less, that country's currency will be at premium. So in this case, DM is at premium. What we have to do is, what operations would be carried out to take the possible arbitrage gains? Okay, so first we have to see whether the arbitrage exists, and if yes, how do you have or implement a strategy with whom you can manage to gain, which will be called as arbitrage gain. You can manage to earn some money. Okay, so what will be that arbitrage strategy? The first step, this entire strategy is being done as per the institute. The institute follows, see, there are certain ways where you can get these strategies, where you can decide which currency to borrow, which currency to invest. But as per the institute, ICAI follows certain way of doing it, and that's exactly, the procedure is exactly what we are going to do, because they are the people who are going to check and give the marks exactly as per their solution. So why should we take any chances, right? So okay, the first thing is, if I give you certain knowledge beforehand, is, see, there are two factors involved here. One is the interest rates, other is the foreign exchange rates. Okay, by default, if there was no foreign exchange involved, say there is only one currency involved, then if there is a question given to you and only one currency involved, then what will you do when I say that I want to generate a strategy wherein I can get any arbitrage gains? So you will say, okay, from this both currency, I'll select a currency with more interest rate, which has more interest rate, and I'll invest in that. Okay, and I borrow in the other currency with a lesser interest rate. This is the by default explanation you will give, and it's probably very logical as well. But the problem here is, in Forex, we also have one more factor almost in every kind of sums. Okay, because there is one more factor involved, and that is the foreign exchange rates. Here you are not dealing in just one single currency. In rupee, no. In dollar, no. You are dealing in rupee and dollar. Okay, in this case, it's DM and Canadian dollar. Right, so there's one more factor, which is the exchange rate. So you also have to see whether the exchange rate given to you, whether the forward rate given to you is at premium or is it at a discount, and how much is the question here. Okay, we know that DM is at a premium, seeing from this information given to us, but we have to know how much at a premium, and then we have to compare that with the interest rate differential as well. Okay, so we need to know that, okay, just by investing in Canadian dollar, that is 9%, since it's more, but we also have to take into factor, and you see, we cannot just take that information about the interest rate and discount the other information, which is the exchange rate. So we have to take both things into factor, into consideration, and we see that which currency to invest and which currency to borrow. So how the institute does it is, they calculate the forward premium or discount of which currency, of the currency whose standard who is quoted in the standard units. In this case, it's the DM. So basically, these codes that are given to you, what code would that be? How will you address this code? It's a DM code, right? Because DM is the standard currency here, correct? So that was the very brief explanation. It almost took 4-5 minutes. Okay, so now wait, this is the DM premium that we are talking about. the DM premium. The formula we all know, forward minus spot upon spot into 12 by n. N is nothing but the term. In this case, it's 3 months into 100 because we need the annualized percentage format for premium or discount. So 12 is for annual, 100 is for percentage, correct? And term 3 months, right? And so, okay, so forward is 0.670 minus what was 0.665 divided by spot 0.665. When you solve that, you get an interest rate, not the interest rate, which is the forward premium. Which currency? DM. Okay, so the forward DM premium 3% per annum. Remember, it's per annum. So when the other thing that you are going to calculate, what is happening with the mic? Wait. Okay, the other thing that we are going to calculate is the interest rate differential, the other factor, and then we'll compare both the factor, that is the premium, forward premium, and the interest rate differential. Okay, so when you calculate the interest rate differential, it's the simplest thing. It's already the rates are in per annum, so all you have to do is get the difference. The name itself is differential. Okay, so 9 minus 7 gives you 2%. Again, this is also per annum. Now when you compare, you can compare both of these factors, because now both of these things are per annum, 3% per annum and 2% per annum. Clearly we can see the forward premium, DM premium, is more than the interest rate differential. So this DM currency is already at premium, we know, but it's more than the interest rate differential. So now we have to invest in that currency, whose forward premium is more than the interest rate differential. Okay, so invest in DM, the other currency automatically becomes borrow. There are only two actions you can take. Okay, either you invest or you borrow. So you are investing in DM means nothing but you are borrowing in Canadian dollar. Okay, so we have established the fact that we are borrowing in Canadian dollar. Now we start the solution. So borrow in Canadian dollar, and see, if you see the question, they have in nowhere given me the exposure amount, like how much to borrow, so, or how much to invest. Nothing of that sort is given to us. So what we are going to do is we take a random amount, which is say 100 Canadian dollar, 1000 Canadian dollar. In this case, we have taken 1000. Okay, so I borrow Canadian dollar 1000 at spot, means today. So after 3 months, that is at the expiry, what I'm going to get is principal plus interest. That is not only 1000, not what I'm going to get, rather what I'm going to have to pay back to the bank or the institution, financial institution from which I have borrowed 1000 Canadian dollar. So I have to pay them back 1000 Canadian dollar plus the interest, and that interest rate, see, Canadian dollar is 9%. Okay, so we borrow at 9%. So after 6 months, this is after 3 months. Okay, so after 3 months, what is happening is I have to pay them back 1000 Canadian dollar plus 9% into 3 by 12. That amount comes up to Canadian dollar 1022.5. Okay, this is after 3 months. Okay, but spot today, how much Canadian dollars do I have is $1000. Okay, so I will sell these dollars and buy DM. Sell dollar or buy DM, it's the same thing. Okay, the rate given to me, all this once again is happening at spot. So the spot rate given to me was, if I'm not wrong, 0.665. Yes. Now this rate is Canadian dollar upon DM. So it's a DM rate, and my exposure right now is Canadian dollar. So I have to divide in order for the common Canadian dollar to cancel out. When that happens, I get something as 1503.76 DM. I have taken all the answers in point as well. You can round it off, but the institute has also kept the points. I've kept the points. Okay, so this is DM. Once again, I'll repeat the process. Initially, we have established that forward DM premium was more than interest rate differential. So we took the decision to invest in DM and borrow in Canadian dollar. Okay, borrow in Canadian dollar. So we start the solution from there. We borrow Canadian dollar. The exposure is not given to us, so we randomly take an amount of 1000. So say 1000 Canadian dollar. After 3 months, that is at expiry, I have to pay back the financial institution or the bank from which I have borrowed rupee 1000 plus the interest amount of 9%, but for 3 months. Okay, that amount comes up to Canadian dollar 1022.5. Okay, so 1022.5. but what? Canadian dollar. Now what I do is I have the Canadian dollar, I'll sell the Canadian dollar or buy DM, it's the same thing. But what? Forward or spot? At spot. Everything is happening at spot. Okay. So I sell these Canadian dollars at spot. The spot rate was given to me in the question as 0.665. When I do that, I get DM, equivalent DM. So that is 1503.76, 1503 rupees. But in points I've taken, so 0.76. I have not rounded it off. Okay, this is exactly how the institute has done. They've kept in points, I've done, kept in decimals, I've done, and I've done the same thing and kept my answer in the decimal amount. Now, after borrowing Canadian dollar, selling the Canadian dollar, what I have right now with me is DM. What I do is I invest those DM. At the rate, the DM interest rate is given to me as 7% in the question. But for 3 months, the investment has to be done for 3 months. Do not forget the time, okay, which is N. When I do that, I get the principal plus the interest amount after 3 months, that is at the expiry. Since I've made the investment, this will be my inflow. At the expiry, I will not only get the principal of 1503, but also the interest of 7% for 3 months on it. Correct. That amount comes up to DM 1530.08. Okay, 1530.08. So dollar equivalent now. Okay, that is over. So I have borrowed Canadian dollar, I have sold these Canadian dollars, and what I got was DM. Then I invested the DM. Now I have DM principal plus interest with me. That is my inflow. Now what is happening is the arbitrager standing at 0.0, that is spot, is entering into a forward contract. Okay, see, from the point of view of arbitrager, he's getting some receipt after 3 months. This 1530 rupees, which is in DM. So he wants to make sure that this receipt stay as it is. There is no decline in the receipt. So for that, what he does is he enters into a forward contract today for 3 months. That is at 3 months expiry, no matter what the rate will be in the market. Okay, whether there is a premium or discount in the exchange rate, no matter what the rate will be, the arbitrager will get a fixed amount which he has entered into at the forward rate, at the contract rate, that is the forward rate today. And that rate, 3 month forward rate, was also given in the question. That rate is this 0.670 3 months. Okay, because he has to fix his inflows, the arbitrager needs to know his profit today. That is only possible if he enters into a forward contract today and fixes his inflow. So he knows that he will be getting DM 1530 DM. So that dollar equivalent will be, using that forward rate, 0.670. See, why have I multiplied this again? Since the rate, this rate is nothing but Canadian dollar upon DM, it means it's a DM rate, and my exposure is also DM. So only when I multiply my DM cancels out and I'm left with equivalent dollars. Okay, that's the reason I've multiplied. Equivalent, this is not dollars, this is Canadian dollars. Okay, so finally this amount is a fixed amount. Okay, so the arbitrager knows that no matter what the foreign exchange rate between Canadian dollar and your DM is in the future, that is after 3 months, I will be getting Canadian dollar 1025.15. Okay, nothing more than that, nothing less than that. This amount is fixed. So with the fixed amount in his mind, with the fixed inflows with him and the fixed outflows with him, can he get his net inflow, his net gain, his actual gain today? Can he know about that? Yes, he can. So the arbitrager gets his net gain or net inflow by inflow minus outflow. Okay, this is happening at expiry, but he knows that amount today. Okay, so that answer is Canadian dollar 2.65. This is his arbitrage gain. Okay, so just look at this. I mean, we did this by taking the base as 1000 Canadian dollars. So basically, arbitrager means who? He does not have any funds with him. See, initially if we go, he borrowed the money. Arbitrager does not have any funds of his own by default. And all he does is he borrows the money, he sells those money, and then whatever other currency equivalent he invests that. And just by doing that, because there is a difference, see, if at all the forward DM premium was equal to the interest rate differential, arbitrage opportunity does not exist, because whatever he earns from the interest spread is then neutralized from the forward or the forward premium or discount spread. So if at all these things were equal, arbitrage would not exist. Only because they are not equal, so there is a spread in between that he can gain from different foreign exchange market with different interest rates. Just see the beauty of it. He borrows in one currency, he sells that currency, he gets another currency equivalent, then he invests in the currency, and final amount, his net gain, he will always gain, and that gain is, in this case, it's Canadian dollar, and he's getting 2.65. Just imagine if he borrowed, say, $100 lakh or a lakh dollar, it could be so much more gain. We have just taken the base as $1,000, Canadian dollars, of course. Yeah, so that was just what I wanted to explain. Basically, arbitrage questions are not that easy. They require a lot of practice. So I suggest you solve these questions. Question 26 and 27 are two questions, arbitrage questions, which involve foreign exchange as well. In derivatives also arbitrage is there, but there foreign exchange does not come. It's just plain interest rates. Okay, so two factors are not involved, it's just the interest rates. So I request you to please practice these questions, solve them with the pen and paper yourself and get the answer, because these questions are tedious. Okay, they are not that difficult if you understand it and solve, but yes, tedious, yes they are. So anyways, I've tried to solve them here for you guys in detail. I hope this helps. Thank you so much. Bye bye.